The European Parliament voted to allocate 50 billion euros to Ukraine, and its deputies called for tougher sanctions against Russia. Such decisions were made during the session of the European Parliament in Strasbourg.
From the very beginning of the outrageous war of aggression that Russia launched against Ukraine, we have had a clear political message. We will stand shoulder to shoulder with Ukraine, and this is a clear message to our member countries and to the aggressors that we will stand with Ukraine during the war, during recovery time, and when they will prepare to join the European Union. Mr. Putin, Ukraine will never return to the Gulag.
Ukraine will receive 50 billion euros over the next 4 years as part of a special mechanism, for the creation of which deputies voted. The allocation of assistance will be coordinated with Ukraine's implementation of reforms aimed at European integration.
We are giving a predictable instrument to Ukraine to be able to maintain its public services and assist in the rebuilding and modernization of the country. We will also be supporting a reform plan for Ukraine and on its path to the EU. Along with civil society and local authorities, a plan must be established that would then be adopted.
50 billion euros is the maximum amount for the European Union, but each individual country can allocate additional assistance. Now this decision of the deputies must be approved by the Council of Europe.
Ukraine and Europe share a common future. Today's Euro Parliament vote on a new 50 billion euros Ukraine facility will be vital for the country's recovery, reconstruction and modernization. Ukraine will not falter, and our support will only get stronger. Roberta Metsola, President of the European Parliament on social network X, formerly Twitter.
The deputies also discussed the effectiveness of sanctions against Russia. Their conclusion is simple: restrictions are effective, but must be tightened. Representatives of the European Commission even proposed to introduce confiscation of the assets of those companies and individuals who participate in sanctions evasion schemes.
Russia is turning its economy into a war economy, but manufacturing weapons and ammunition will not improve the well-being of Russian citizens. There is no room for complacency. Sanctions need to be implemented in full. We are working closely with the Member States, like-minded partners and third countries to tackle gaps and to address Russia's attempts to circumvent all restrictive measures.
Some deputies see many areas where additional pressure can be put on Russia to stop the war against Ukraine. Deputy Andrius Kibilius believes that the main thing is to halve the price ceiling for Russian oil from $60 to $30.
Second, to impose an embargo on Russian LNG imports. Third, to introduce restriction on fuel imports if fuels are produced by said countries using Russian oil. Fourth, to introduce price cap on Russian ammonium fertilizer exports. Fifth, to prohibit transshipment of Russian oil and LNG through EU territorial waters and exclusive economic zones. Sixth, to introduce restrictions on European tanker services, on sale of tankers, as well as on European insurance services for tankers, if these are used to export Russian oil. And seventh, to introduce an enforced and centralized EU-level oversight of sanctions implementation.
Reported by Roman Smoler, Vitaly Syzov, UATV News.